we are gathered here today to pay tribute to our honored dead. Of my friend and colleague, I can say only this. Of all the souls I have encountered in my many travels, his was the most human.
I'm here with the full Brodeo crew for maximum Brodiosity.
While I was going to work every day at MacWeek and hating it, I was reading the other Ziff Davis magazine, and I started reading Computer Gaming World and Electronic Gaming Monthly and the other magazines, and it just kind of dawned on me, like, these magazines are just fun. I mean, it just was amazing that anyone could actually get paid to do that kind of thing. And then it was just kind of a light bulb going over my head. So, of marrying my skills and interests as an editor and writer with my big hobby passion, which was gaming. You know, it was a natural thing, and I just got lucky. Johnny Wilson said yes, and I hired me.
Okay.
You know, that it doesn't happen for everybody, but it happened for me. It happened for me.
Oh, dude, that's a perfect shot.
That's so good.
Oh, nice, Rob. Beautiful and touching tribute.
That's great. He's really
What
gonna
did I
love
miss?
it.
Whoa! Where'd you get all this?
Dude,
beer?
Got it from Jeff Green's office, suckers.
What? You're looting it already?
Fuck, dude. Yeah, dude. I'm in on this action.
I'm gonna
Too
get
soon.
There's some action figures if you want some. You want to play Civilization? Come on.
Alright.
I get to be Britain.
There's no Asians, they cheat.
What?
仕事へ行きたくない学校なんかつまんないみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊びたいどこでも行っても同じだみんなで歌を歌うんだみんなで一緒にテレビゲーム遊んだらどうだらワンアップショーを見ましょうワンアップショーで遊ぼうワンアップショーワオすごいワンアップショーやったよワンアップショーです
3, 2, 1, start.
What was it called? Vertical was the name of the...
Vertigo, I think.
Vertigo was it?
Yeah.
Just the top of some buildings in some random location.
Yeah.
It felt good as a deathmatch game. 8 players. It felt just about right. I felt like I could get away from the combat if I needed to, but I felt like I could still sneak up on people if I could get my swings right.
Well, that's the immediate thing when you're playing this game that makes it different from anything, at least that I can think of. I've played recently, is the mobility that you have in this. Where when we were kind of all struggling at first, getting used to the swing mechanics, and there is a learning curve that goes with it for sure. Yeah. But 2 or 3 games in, when you're getting the hang of it, or when the game comes out and you've played through single player, you really start to see how well you can kind of manipulate and maneuver your way very quickly around these environments.
So that's why it felt small to me at first, because I didn't realize that this level is so
vertically integrated. It's like 4 rooftops to go on, you know? This isn't too much, but then you start to realize like there's a rooftop here, and then this one splits into 2 levels, and then you know, you're at the very top here, and then you can see all the area from this side, but you can still get attacked from behind. So there's a whole multitude of angles, you know, of death, you know, in that area.
It's very, very easy to get out of a situation. You know, with Halo, you just run towards each other typically until, you know, one of you is dead and do a melee attack. This is the exact opposite. If you're getting attacked, you just leap off the side of a building and start swinging around to get the hell out of there. And this is a game that has health and armor power-ups scattered out throughout the level. So it's very important, actually, to run if you're getting into a situation.
I mean, there's like that armor power, I think there's one like half story like above the shotgun. So like, what I would do is do a shotgun armor swing by like going shotgun and swing up and just jump up and get some armor, and then swing around looking for fools to fight.
I personally at third-person shooters suck at aiming, and that's why the whole escape, like zipline escape system, worked really great for me, and also the death from above, because I was able, you know, if I was under a barrage of fire and I was like, oh, I'm gonna die, you know, I have 1 health bar left, I can zip to the top, and then when they forget about me and start going after somebody else, hey, jump over the edge, death from above, and take out like 3 people at once.
Yeah, you basically become, all you have to do is press the Y button and you become a human bomb. I thought it was really clever how you can zip line and pull to you items like guns and armor, but health you actually have to run over to pick up. If you're trying to get away from somebody, you can't just grab a health thing from far away, but it's really nice if somebody's running for the rocket launcher and you see them and you're just all zip mine.
I definitely started doing this with Matt after he like won 3 games in a row and he kept killing me all the time. What's really fun in the game is to chase somebody. If like someone goes on and you want them dead, and you can get some really exciting like cool Spider-Man style chases that you won't see anywhere else, and that was really fun too.
It also makes it ripe for like when you're not that great, for when you're trying to chase someone, you're trying to hook onto it, you end up hooking things next to them instead. You fly to different parts of the window and just like it has that can be like, oh, I fucked up, but oh, it's so funny I just hit the wall instead. Like I'm trying to swing and just like constantly missing what I'm trying to hit.
Oh, speaking of that, did you guys ever hook onto each other? When you were about to do like the zip kick. Yes, that was so much fun. The double zip kick. In the beginning, that's all I would do. And eventually I figured out that it doesn't actually kill you. Like it takes off a small amount of damage.
It can if they're almost dead.
It can if they're almost dead, but it takes off such a small amount of damage that I guess the way you're actually supposed to use it is you're supposed to kind of Smash Brothers-ish, knock them off the stage to where they can't zip back onto a building and they just kind of fall off and die.
It's really funny from the other end of the perspective, because you'll be sitting there shooting and all of a sudden you were like just going across the map in the air, and I'm like, oh, I got zip kicked.
Well, it's harder than you think too to actually knock somebody off the edge. Like at first I thought I would be able to just be knocking everybody off the buildings, but you'd be surprised how far you can be knocked off and still be able to latch back on a building and zip back and then shoot the dude in the head that just kicked you. You know, like it's really easy to come back, but at the same time, when you successfully knock someone off and kill them, it's so satisfying. Just to be like, yeah. What did you guys think of the reticle aiming? You know, like there's a standard over the shoulder type of aiming that you can do, but then once you click the R stick or the right stick, it like slightly zooms in with any weapon, right? So the sniper rifle, you do the sniper rifle zoom in, but even with a handgun, you could zoom in and you're like a tank. I thought it was a bit slow.
It is.
It felt a little too slow, like especially with the way that everything's so emphasized, like fast motion of swinging around, jumping around, death from above, zip lines and kicks like that. I think trying to go into aim mode just kind of unnecessarily slowed it down for me, so I almost never used it.
I thought that way at the beginning too, but after, I don't know, 4 or 5 games that we played, I started using the right thumbstick to click in, and it increases your accuracy by a lot. So much so that you can snipe with your pistol. And like the shotgun gets really accurate when you do it too. So it ends up being like a Half-Life shotgun where you can get headshots from a lot further away than you think you could shoot, you know? I think it might be pretty well balanced because your accuracy has increased so much. I feel like you should have to slow down and be an easier target.
And what I like too is the weapons kind of force you to play in different ways. If I was using the assault rifle, which was a favorite of mine, or the pistol, it was a lot of like using my mobility to get to, you know, really specific cool areas where I could sit there for a second and pick guys off. But when I got something like the shotgun or the rocket launcher that had splash damage, that was more like me swinging by guys and just dropping a couple bombs on the way and just kind of getting right into the heat of battle.
You need to be, I think, faster on the draw, I guess, when you're clicking in, clicking out, clicking in, clicking out. You know, you got to be aiming, then jumping off, then aiming, then jumping off. And I think overall it tends to just lead, I think, like you said, an air of balance to all the weapons. You know, you can use anything from the pistol, which you start off with, to the rocket launcher, which is like the, you know, free-for-all weapon which everyone goes for, and all of them feel useful.
I'm really looking forward also to seeing what new modes they have, because this game is so ripe for like a King of the Hill
or Capture the Flag. Would be awesome with this.
Or any kind of speed run. Like imagine some sort of race.
You know, straight up race mode, where it's like, all right, you go from one end of NYC to or future NYC, wherever the hell the game takes place in, and just go like, yep, one skyscraper to the other, just swing away.
Another thing to talk about that we don't know about that I'm excited is the experience point system.
Oh yeah,
that you get in the game.
But I kept on seeing like, you're not level 5. I'm like, what does that mean? And they're like,
and you get like bonuses and combos based off whether you're doing air attacks or whether like you're
style
doing
points.
Multi kills in a row. Like you know, not only were they counting like multi kills at the same time, but if you're killing like 4 or 5 guys in a row, you get a multiplier going, which then adds to your score, and it like multiplies your style score by like 6 or 7 or 10, you know, depending on how many guys you have going. So,
but they're not saying yet exactly what those experience points are going towards and what kind of upgrades. So we'll have to see about that.
They were playing around with a lot of abilities. Nothing's definite, but they said that one of the unlockables could potentially be, you know, swinging your grappling hook around you to deflect incoming fire. And like that's kind of an example, a rough example of the stuff that maybe you'll be able to unlock with all these experience points.
It's true, and let alone weapons and costumes. Like I'd love to see customizable costumes.
Totally.
I was really tired of being stuck as a Pink Ranger.
You know, that's the thing. Like all the model types do look the same, but they're all just different colors. So I would like to see a little bit more variety. Capcom's got a pretty huge stable of characters if they really wanted to get crazy with it. So
I'd really like to see a Mega Man helmet on my guy.
I want it.
What the shit?
It's guy.
Dude, are you guys, hey, are you giving this shit to March of Dimes or what?
We're taking it.
Does he have Raptors in here? You don't feel crusty taking a bunch of trash? Think about it, he didn't want it. What does that mean?
It's good trash.
Yeah, it's free shit. I mean, come on.
I got this horse head.
Beggars can't be choosers, dude. Are there any like just shitty games or anything I can use? Oh. Alright, dude, you guys are disappointing, but I'll find some good use for these at least. Don't think I'm taking these to EV games either.
Alright, whatever.
Free shit?
Free shit?
Yeah!
Free shit!
You guys are stuck in
Hey,
the
someone Hey, free.
Woo.
Yeah.
Hey.
Free shit.
Yep.
Oh, wait. Guys, I'm stuck up here.
I think it's really cool that we were able to subscribe to each other, and even though like I left it open, I still see like little bits and pieces from all you guys. Like your spaceship was flying over my planet, abducting people.
Which one was it? The one that looked like a flying boat with a bunch of harpsichords on it, or?
No, it was a different one. It actually looked kind of like a spaceship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my people are engaged in a bloody battle with you guys.
With the Earthlings?
Yes. Screw the Earthlings.
Earthlings unite!
Earthlings, they're so cute. They're like these little round, cutesy things with flowers and leaves, and they're
top
orange.
hats. The citizens have top hats.
You can kill them. Yeah. They die.
They're adorable.
That is the easiest way to play the game, at least from what I've seen, is just unmitigated motherfuckery. It seems to be like the path of least resistance.
Yeah.
Which is kind of funny. I thought it'd be something to sort of reward you for not being a dick. But
that's what I did too, and I was trying to break out of it, you know. Yeah. But I'm stuck in this cycle where I just have to kill everything. I got to the space stage and I was like, all right, this is gonna be relaxed. I'm just gonna like terraform some stuff, you know, mess with some you know, aliens. And instead, like, I'm in the middle of this interstellar war and constantly getting raided.
Takes time, you know? I mean, you have to put them down and terraform and all that. And screw that. Those guys over there already built a colony, and I could have it.
That's a good point.
And it takes 30 seconds as opposed to, you know, an hour.
I actually started like herbivore, and then I went to omnivore. Then I was like, you know, I went from basically like passive to aggressive. Like you can follow in your history the little chain and stuff, because I was trying to get like all the different skills from the different thing. And when I got to space, it said I'm like playing from the path of the knight. So I'm kind of curious, like what paths you guys went on.
You didn't become a space pope?
No, I became a knight. I fight for justice.
As an omnivore, I became just a trader, which meant I love money. Everything just money, money, money. I get like bonuses to spice production, and I could like buy anything I felt like it by activating a special like buy the system power.
I can't get over the editors. Like, I think that's where like all of the value of this game is going to come from, is from the editors, because the gameplay itself is like you can get like that, and I think like if you're looking at it like some of the reviews are from the perspective of its position as a real-time strategy game or whatever, you're going to be disappointed. But if you're actually the kind of person that wants to make stuff, whether or not you have the skill, if you spend the time, you can come out with some really awesome stuff at the end of it. So it's like every time a new creator pops up, like make your town hall, I'm like, oh, that's another 6 hours of my time.
I found the editors a little bit overwhelming. Like when you hit the civilization stage, you got to make the town hall, a house, factory, like an entertainment kind of building, like a land vehicle, a boat. It takes forever, and you know, kind of all at once. I like the opportunity to create that much stuff. I just felt like it needed to be spread out a little bit more instead of all like hitting at that one point in the game.
My degree is in 3D animation, so I find myself wanting a couple of the tools that I would have like in Maya. You know, it's like I want to move something only in the X or only in the Y axis, you know, or only in the X axis. But there's not like a modifier that I can hold down or whatever. I can only move things like in a perspective view and in relation to other things that are already on the screen.
Sometimes it works, and sometimes it just decides to like freak out on me, and then I have to like change the angle, put it down, and do that whole thing. But I saw your houses and stuff. They're all awesome looking, and they all are within like the Earthling lore. They all look like they belong to the same civilization, versus like me, all my stuff, I tried to keep them the same colored, but I just was like, this looks good, and it doesn't look like the same people built it at all. By the time I got to space, I built a saucer that kind of looks like a Fisher-Price toy. It's like purple and pink, and it's got lights that look like Navi from Legend of Zelda, and yeah, I was just like, this does not look like my sprinkles built it at all. The beginning stages are like, they go by really fast, like faster than I would have liked. Like I remember like in Cell stage, that was fine if it was quick, but once you get on land and you start evolving, like very quickly you're out of creature stage, and I kind of was hoping, for a little bit more time to go around and like get DNA. And then when you get to civilization, then I'm just like, I really, really want to get to space, and it's taking forever. I have to build all these things.
I mean, you could make it maybe a criticism, I guess, but I could almost look at those first 4 stages as pretty much just an extended tutorial. I mean, whether you want to take that as a good thing or a bad thing.
But it's not only that, it's like specifically to me, it's like a way to teach casual people, to get them acquainted with the way that like a World of Warcraft or something works. So it's like in creature phase, you get a party, and you learn how to grind and kill animals. You have an XP bar that's like your evolution bar, and that fills up, and it's like, but right now it's just so rudimentary and boring and repetitive. And
the creature stage, the way that you can learn the controls and all the like the basic concepts, it's still the same for tribal a little bit, but when you get to civilization, then suddenly the controls are completely different, and then you're no longer controlling an actual creature, you're just controlling
society.
You're like a god, and you're like dictating where they go. It's like really RTS-y, and you do like your whole mouse click to select and all that thing. So if you find like that creature stage part boring, where you're like as a creature going around 1 2 1 3, that kind of thing, then maybe when you get to civilization phase, maybe you'll like it better. I don't know.
Right. What about like this space stage where you're saying, I mean, you guys are complaining about having to harvest and stuff. I mean, is that like more grinding, where you need to get X amount of spice in order to get to the next quest accomplished, and then you're back to getting more spice to get the next one? And
micromanagement that really drives me nuts in the space stage. Like, your home colony has like mine has like 8 or so cities on it, and when it gets raided, a lot of those cities get attacked and buildings get destroyed. Like each city has like 8 turrets and they can all get destroyed. So after a raid, I'm stuck like visiting every freaking city in my home world, rebuilding every turret, every building. It takes like 10-15 minutes before I can just leave and, you know, do whatever I was doing before. It really does feel like an MMO, which is probably why I couldn't stop playing it for 2 straight days. But the quests, and you know, the quests are pretty rudimentary. They just like kill stuff, get stuff, bring it back, and that's gonna get old.
And that stuff's like boring as hell for me in an MMO, and it only works because of the social aspect. And if that's not there,
I'm enjoying exploring it. If you're into making the content and looking at other people's content and messing with it and uplifting their race of walking Swiss Army knives or whatever, then there's probably a lot of fun to be had with that. It's pretty much my only other really major criticism of the thing is the biometrics of your creature don't count for dick. You know, if you give him an eye, it doesn't matter if you stick it on his butt. It's just, you know, as long as he has a mouth, he's going to be able to bite. You know, and it's not really going to have a hell of a lot to do with the animation. It's just, did I give it the best feet? Well, then it can run fast, even though he's got like one leg and it's coming out of the top of his head. It does feel kind of like, yeah, I'm just going to buy the parts with the best stats, and everything else is purely aesthetic.
Right. We also know that there were like a billion different false starts that they had, you know, like ways that the game was supposed to turn out, and it didn't, because ultimately they chose like probably what they thought was going to be safest, like what most people were going to be, like casual people are going to be happy playing and buying. And so it's like there's forms where they're simulating like how you build worlds with gravity and all these other elements. I mean, there's like educational applications, and then they could then take those and potentially make mods out of those and then have them appeal to a smaller audience, but then they'll still be fine and it's financially viable because they've got the base out there.
「このままやったら体が持たへんよ。
ほっといて。
なんであんたはそうやって無茶すんの？
ママが何も話してくれへんからやないか。
何遍も言うてるやんか。あんたの両親とヤクザは関係ないって。
だったら教えてよ。私の本当の親は誰なの
？You and I love Virtua Fighter very much. You know, it's like our favorite fighting game. But I have to say, I think that Yakuza is right now is like the best thing that Sega's got going for it.
Well, and it's funny because in Japan it's really huge, sells millions of copies, gets almost perfect scores in the magazines, and here it's still very cult, niche.
Yeah. This totally feels like one of those low print run titles from Sega. You know, they always do it like late in the system cycle.
Panzer Dragoon Saga.
Rez.
Well,
Rez,
it's hard to find. It didn't get distributed very well. It's only $29.99. So I think if you're an RPG guy, you see this. Even if you haven't played the first game, buy it.
Yeah,
because you're going to be glad you did.
And it has a handy recap anyway, so you can't use the, I don't know what the hell goes on.
Oh, no, I love that.
Remember the days
where it's like, continue flashback. So if you haven't played the first one, can't find it, whatever, you can catch up.
1年前、俺は大切な人間を失った。今思えば、11年前のあの時から。
Most of the characters are new.
Right, and you end up going to Osaka. It's not the first game was all in Tokyo.
Yeah.
So this one, you're in a new place. There's new enemies, new rivals.
You know what's interesting is that since I just went to Osaka, and this was the first time that I really had the chance to spend a few days in Osaka, and it's so just like that. I'm like, oh, Chitaya should be over here. Yeah, it's there in the game.
It's funny, like the first game, I was on the review, and a lot of people got sick of us saying, like, oh, it's so realistic. It's just like Tokyo, but it really is.
Yeah.
If you've never been there, like, I mean, this is like going
Maybe
to
you
Tokyo.
can't appreciate it as much if you haven't been there, but if you want to know what Tokyo is like and Osaka's like, Yakuza 1, Yakuza 2. Here's Tokyo, here's Osaka.
Yeah, sure, these graphics are pretty antiquated now, but they still do a good job of making realistic life-like settings.
I don't know if I can play Japanese RPGs anymore, or at least that's what I thought, because everyone that would come by me, I'd try it for a little while, Lost Odyssey, Infinite Undiscovery. they don't stick. I don't know. I feel I'm too old for this shit or something like this, or it's the same thing. But Yakuza, like, all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well the gameplay systems clearly weren't the problem. What's the problem is the story, the setting, I want something that's a little bit more mature, and Yakuza provides that for me.
公安2課どうしてアジア専門の公安2課がここに実は昨日も伊達さんに連絡したように今我々4課は近江連合の動きを追っています。ああ寺田が殺された一件だろ。はいですが裏に海外特に中国韓国系の組織が絡んでいるのではないかと。
I really do like the core storyline.
It's obvious that Yakuza benefits from being actually scripted by a crime novelist.
When you meet these police officers and, you know, the various Yakuza that you meet throughout the game, the people who own the shops, like, they're characters. They have backstories. They feel like they've been there. They don't feel like people standing in one spot waiting for you to, like, come up and press X on them. They feel like they've had lives, you know?
4代目寺田お久しぶりです。どうしても4代目にだけはお話ししておきたいことがありまして。4代目はよしてくれ。俺はもう仇だ。で、何の話だ。実は近江連合の合田会長と杯を交わそうと思っております。杯
Even though I feel that at the end the story kind of starts relying on too many like really bizarre random coincidences, I would say even despite all that, it is just a really good crime story about like these warring. It's a total of bad East versus West 50 versus the game feud between Osaka and Japan with Koreans thrown in, which is really interesting. Even when it has those weird like weaknesses of like, oh, this is really twist heavy kind of at that point. But even still, I was still compelled to play on.
And I mean, obviously, if it were a film, there are a lot of Yakuza movies that, you know, it could be Takashi Miike movie Y, X, whatever. But because it's a video game, it feels like genuinely unique. And then the side quests are there to make my playthrough feel unique. That's like where I get to basically improvise. I was like, I'm gonna go into this hostess club. Why? Because I can. Which hostess do you want? This one. Why? Because that's the one I'm choosing right now, you know? And that's just fun.
And I will say, a lot of, you know, people who like Japanese games have wanted a dating game, and this isn't a dating game, but it has enough dating in it, I think, more than you'd ever expect from a game. Like, if you want a dating game, it's What really makes Yakuza special, it's all the side quest, optional shit you can do, and they've added so much now. My favorite being host club.
Managing one or participating in one?
Both.
Okay, because participating was in the last one, right. And the big major addition made for this one that you can now actually manage one.
Yeah. It's a very, you know, uniquely Japanese, crazy societal thing that really has no parallel here in America, and it's just really interesting to me. It's totally bizarre.
Yakuza provides the best explanation for random battles in any RPG I've seen. It's like assholes on the street bugging the shit out of you. That actually happens in real life.
The combat is what really makes the game so great because it isn't just turn-based. You're pressing X 3 times. You're doing moves. It's a brawler. You have those awesome like context-sensitive heat moves.
Or you upgrade your moves, like the more insane the heat moves become.
And the deeper the combat gets. I mean, compared to other RPGs, and compared to most brawlers, like, I actually enjoy the combat. I don't care that they're random battles because I like fighting them.
But if you're fighting like one guy, and you start committing to a combo and you're not lined up with him, you're going to be swinging at air.
There's still that, but at least they tweaked it so that it's a lot easier to take on guys from different directions. Because the first game, you were so locked into what you're currently doing, you were really fucked when someone would just basically be 4 degrees to the right of you.
But I really feel like this game shouldn't be missed because it's an investment for the future because this franchise is still moving right ahead. There's 2 more games coming out. There's Yakuza Kenzan, which is like what takes it back to the Edo period, like feudal Japan. And they just announced like the real sequel.
Straight up Yakuza 3.
I want what you were talking about. I want them to bring Kenzan to America, which might not happen. It would be rad as a network title on PSN.
Now they have the real sequel. Like Kenzan kind of feels like a side story, so it would be cool if they episodically brought it on PSN.
Or they could do like a 2-pack. That would be sweet. A double feature. I would totally play.
気持ちいいですか
if you're somebody who likes Final Fantasy, if you're somebody who likes brawlers,
Or if you liked RPGs back in the day, and like when you go to them now, you feel like it's the same goddamn game every time. Well, here's one that's not.
Or if you like to play a badass gangster that fights tigers, literally
punches tigers in the face.
In the face.
Especially if you were ever anybody who complained about wanting Shenmue 3, you should buy like 5 copies.
This game is like totally the new
Totally
Shenmue.
the new Shenmue.
Yeah.
In every
But
way.
I think better than Shenmue because it's actually fun. I appreciate Shenmue's ambition, but it was too tedious for me. Like Yakuza is like the right
Well, it's like
distillation of all the elements.
It's like action and sex Shenmue, basically.
I agree. We're never getting Shenmue 3, so we
enjoy the Yakuza.
Yes, play Yakuza instead. And
a year from now, I can totally see this being like one of the hardest games to find, and everybody's gonna want to find out what it was all about.
You could have had it for $30. Instead, you're paying 150 on eBay.
Yeah.
Alright, we're out here because we've got a fucking badass idea. We're gonna take these classic games, put them on the sidewalk, and see how long it takes. It's just like a race. Who gets picked up the first? Let's get started right now. I say we start with Code of Honor 2, Conspiracy Island.
Who's gonna be the lucky winner?
So how do you think this is gonna shake down?
I think someone's gonna get some awesome games. They're gonna have fun. And
I don't know, man. Like San Francisco, I think people are kind of like skeptical about picking shit up off the street. You never know what it is. And we got our first like real look right there.
you know, maybe we put it in the middle. People just walk over it at that point.
You could put it a little closer to us. Yeah, it might be out there a bit. Dude, you don't kick it in front of people.
I was trying to force them to want it.
Excuse me, do you love that series? Yeah. Do you love that? No, that's yours. You found it. Did you like Code of Honor 1?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I was thinking that
Well, one question though. What's the conspiracy on the island?
I don't know.
All right, that's cool. That's all yours, man.
First game, got picked up 2:15.
Okay, that's a decent time. I think that's something that puts it in the lead, obviously, because it's the only one. Okay, let's go up for Hour of Victory next. This is another combat-themed game. It's you taglines that you ensure victory and you make history. Oh, I think we got something. Do you love this game?
I don't know.
Yeah, it's yours, man. No, it's not try. We just want to know, like, we're trying out these different games and see which one's the most popular. I mean, if that game looks cool to you.
But see, I don't have the system, so I'd rather use it for somebody.
You could probably trade that in at EB Games up the street too. They might give you a better game.
Okay.
All right, enjoy. Like I wasn't anticipating this. I don't know why, but they all seem really guilty and they want to give it back. And like, I don't think they're gonna like play along and give us any hot quotes about why the game's so rad because they feel like they just got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. Dude, I think it's time to like up the stakes right now. This is an exhibition one. This isn't part of the normal contest. Well, actually, we don't even need to describe it. Let's just let them see what bullshit we got set up for this one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you to stay and watch on the corner and tip me up when it needs a jerk. That didn't work. Oh. I think she's trying to grab it. Or not. Touch the Dead's a Nintendo DS game. I think it deserves a handicap. Those other games have a higher suggested retail price.
True.
And this isn't just, it's just not as hot of a SKU.
Yeah.
It's all about the SKUs.
Gotta give it a little spice.
What we're gonna do, super glue, what, a nickel and a couple pennies on it. Now we've added 30 cents and change. Touch the Dead is roughly equivalent in aftermarket value to the previous two contenders. So it's basically a level playing ground. We've leveled it out and it's time to put Touch the Dead out. kid just got run over. No, that's yours now, man. That's yours. You know, oh, that was a tease, man. We might have to up the stakes on this. It's been 2 hours and 38 minutes. And Touch the Dead's still sitting there. We're all growing older. So it's time to make a cash sandwich out of this thing. If that's not the most compelling thing you've ever seen, then you've never seen Touch the Dead with 30 cents and $1 stuck to it. Hey, excuse me. Can you give me a review of that game?
It's like a Doom from the DS. One of those retro things.
True. All right, thanks. No, that's yours, man. So we ran into the same problem as I expected. And that's just like, people feel guilty about taking Touch of the Dead with 30 cents and $1 on it. It was all that, guys. You could tell he was excited about it at first, but then I think he had his family with him. And he didn't want to seem like a scoundrel in front of his family. All right, so it's been 2 years since we first put Touch the Dead out here on the sidewalk. Came back, it's moved a little bit around, but as you can see, it's still here. We've had a few big earthquakes. Yeah. Nice, here we go. The Monster Car Crush Rally, Part 3. That's just sitting there. It's all yours if you want it. Oh, you need help getting it? Do you like that one?
I have never seen this one. I had that Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah.
I got too involved in it, and so I gave it away to somebody because it was taking up too much of my time. I wasn't getting more work done.
Yeah, this one's like, it's probably not as addictive as Grand Theft Auto. You can probably play it for like 10 minutes at a time, and it's not going to be that big of a deal.
Okay.
I don't know. It's probably worth like $50 or $60 at the EB Games. They do trade-ins down there.
Okay.
Yeah, you thinking about trading that in?
Yeah, I'll check it in.
Yeah, that's probably the best thing to recommend. And if don't tell them if they have this thing there. Well, they'll always try to undersell you at first. They'll say, okay, well, we'll give you $10 for this. But if you say like, no, I know this is worth $50, then they'll usually say, okay, like how about 45 or something.
Okay.
So yeah, good luck on that.
All right, thank you very much.
Yeah. Oh man, I feel like a scumbag.
DFW radio. Listen to our podcast. Yo, yo. We out.